Hello and welcome to the first episode of the 2024 PC Broadcasting. As it is our inaugural episode for the 2024 season, they've elected me, the Weird History Guy, to welcome you guys back. So, welcome back. I can assure you that our New Year's resolution is to not change a thing about this show because it is already perfect. So without further ado, roll the intro. Absolutely love that intro. Anyway, Noah's going to be discussing sports and sports-related things.
Thanks, Jaden. Hello, guys, and welcome back to another sports section with me, Noah. And for this next few weeks, we're going to be interviewing athletes who play winter sports. And for today, we have girls basketball, girls swim, and girls winter guard. So if you guys could say your names and what sports you play.
My name is Shelby and I play basketball.
Hi, my name is Caitlin and I'm in winter guard.
Hi, my name is Addie and I swim.
And I'm Noah Miller. If you don't know, I've never played any of those sports. So today I'm going to ask you some questions and then we're going to play a little fun game at the end. So let's get right into this segment. Question 1. If you're trying to convince someone to play your sport, what would you say?
I would say that we play as a team and not individual.
It's a great way to make new friends and then go about competitions.
Swim is probably one of the hardest sports, but it's really rewarding whenever you cat time and do it as a team.
Okay. So what got you interested in your sport?
I used to play in elementary school and all the way up, so I don't really know.
You just got forced into it and you like it now?
Yeah.
My brother played basketball and I'd see the guard perform at basketball games sometimes.
I thought it was fun to swim in 5th grade. And I just kind of stuck with it, I guess.
All right. Now, what type of songs do you listen before a game or an event you guys have?
Whatever's on the playlist that gets played on the bus on the way to the games.
You don't listen to like an individual song?
No.
Okay.
Whatever shuffles from my playlist. A lot of Taylor Swift.
We just kind of all talk as a team. I don't think any of us really listen to a specific song.
All right. Out of all your teammates, which one would you say is the funniest and why?
I would say Addie because she's always laughing and she's the first one to sing and start jumping on the bus.
I'd say Haley because she just yells random things and no one's expecting it.
I would probably say Xavier or Easton. They kind of like make it fun at practice whenever we're like dying through the workout.
If you had to choose a sport that wasn't the one that you're already into to go pro in, what would it be?
I don't know.
Like choose any sport that is like out there to go pro in.
I guess I would say softball. I don't know.
You ever played softball?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Okay.
I don't know. I don't play like sports, like regular sports. Softball.
Oh, softball again.
This is the only one I played as a kid.
I don't know. Like gymnastics is fun to watch on the Olympics. I guess. I don't know.
Have you ever done gymnastics?
When I was like 3.
All right. Here's a fun question. Would you rather be 3 feet tall or 8 feet tall?
I want to say 3 feet tall because I want to hit my head everywhere.
I'm also going 3 feet tall.
3 feet tall?
Why 3? I feel like 8 would be so much better.
I don't have to duck everywhere I go.
Well, you won't have to duck everywhere you go, but
9 times out of 10.
Go to the doorway.
I feel like if you're 3 feet tall, you're getting ran over easily.
Hey, there's several people that are surviving right now with that.
Barely.
Well, still the same thing.
All right, now to our game segment. Alright guys, for the game segment, we got the three girls gonna have a straw in their hand, and they're gonna blow this pom-pom from one side to the other. Ready?
Oh, okay.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, okay.
She took one big blow. That is the end of our sports segment. Thank you guys for watching, and come back next week for another one.
Man, those girls really know how to shoot those hoops and swim those laps. I just hope one of them scores a field goal or gets a home run. Now, as the angry mob is assembling to remove me out of this very uncomfortable chair, I welcome Raven to discuss adoption at PAWS and deliver some no-bake dog treats.
Last semester, I made dog treats with Miss Hay and Miss Sutton on Chat the Charger, and for this episode, here are some of the dogs and cats I've met when we went out to PAWS to hand out the treats. I met a few of the dogs at PAWS, but the two whose stories really hit me were Prancer and Maisie. Prancer was a new intake at PAWS, who was thought to be a stray or abandoned dog. It was later revealed that Prancer did indeed have a family, and that she was an incredible escape artist, who also likes to go on adventures. She has since been returned home to her loving family. However, legend has it Prancer is still up to her escape artist and adventure antics. And then there was Maisie. She had been a rescue from one of the major hoarding situations from last year. She was very nervous around us, and we later learned that before she was rescued, she had to fight for her food and really did not know how to be a dog. Though she did come out of her shell a little bit when offered one of the homemade treats. Before heading to visit the cat shortly, we got to meet two absolutely adorable pit bull puppies by the names of Jasmine and Wyona. We did stop to see the cats and kittens, where I got to meet two of the cutest kittens who were polydactyl, meaning they had extra toes. We also got to meet some of the older cats that were at PAWS, and every single one of them were so sweet and friendly. If you are ever looking for a feline friend, definitely check out the cats at PAWS. Next, we went out to visit the outside dogs, and wow, some of them were quite the characters. My favorite of the outside dogs was definitely Cranberry, the Great Pyrenees puppy. I love the little markings around her eyes that made her look a little like Panda. I really enjoyed getting to go out and give the dogs the treats and meet them all. Keep an eye out for the next PAWS segment where we'll be making homemade cat treats, and who knows, maybe we'll head back out to PAWS to deliver the treats to the cats.
So lonely. We rolling? Good. Now Dominic will be discussing the PlayStation 1, or as my grandma calls it, the Nintendo. Do people even get that joke?
PlayStation 1 is probably one of my favorite systems of all time. There's just something about those blocky polygons that I just love. I guess it kind of reminds me of the Cybertruck. But while the PlayStation may seem like an early adopter of CD-based technology, game companies were experimenting with CD technology as early as 1989 and continued throughout the early 90s. But with game systems like the Philips CDI and the Sega CD, burning or creating CDs was out of reach for most hackers and piracy groups, let alone the average consumer. For this reason, these systems had no piracy protection on their games. However, around the mid-90s, CDRW drives were on the rise, just starting to creep under the $1,000 mark. This meant even the average consumer could get their hands on one soon and potentially make an illegal copy of a video game. Burning CDs. Something you've probably never seen, but you've definitely heard your parents talk about. Basically, you needed a CDRW drive, which looked like this, and a computer. Then, you needed some writable disks. The CDRW drive would allow you to write the CD to contain whatever data you wanted to. This allowed you to make backups of disks you already owned or illegal piracy. Music piracy boomed in popularity thanks to websites like Napster and LimeWire. But with the ability to write CDs, this fundamentally meant you could do the same for video games, especially since the gaming industry was moving more and more toward CD-based gaming. It would be too easy for people to illegally pirate games. So it's because of this reason Sony wanted to include copy protection within the PlayStation to prevent illegal copying. However, they didn't just want to stop you from playing burned discs, they also wanted to implement a more annoying form of protection: region locking. Region locking has been a thing since as early as the Nintendo Entertainment System, and locked games out based on their region, meaning you can't play a Japanese game on an American system and vice versa. So Sony sought to implement both of these protections into the PlayStation, and they ended up coming up with a pretty clever way to actually do both at the same time. By taking advantage of the factory mastering process, they were able to write data to an area of the game disk a normal CD writer never could. They then categorized each region with its own 4-letter code. For example, North America was SCEA. They then had the PlayStation read this 4-letter code as part of the boot process. The famous beep sound you hear on startup is the PlayStation doing exactly that. By reading this code, the PlayStation would not only know that the game was genuine, it would also know if it was the correct region. that if it didn't read this code, it would know either the game was a bootleg or it was the wrong region. So the system would throw an error message. Pretty simple, right? Well, yes, very simple. But by doing this, Sony was able to effectively kill two birds with one stone. And in all honesty, it was extremely effective. To this day, almost 30 years later, there is still no way to replicate that 4-letter code with any conventional CD burn. But if you were trying to defeat this protection, you would then go to the next logical step. If you can't burn CDs that the PlayStation can play, you make the PlayStation play burn CDs. The downside to such an easy to understand lockout system is that it's not hard to think of ways to circumvent it. Knowing all the PlayStation cares about is that 4-letter code. If you could just give it that 4-letter code every time, you would bypass region locking and copy protection, since both will use the same protection. This is exactly what hackers and piracy groups set out to do. By taking a programmable chip, they could then program it to insert this code into the system every time on boot. And this was very easy. It was so easy, in fact, that it's not hard to find a second-hand PlayStation that's already been modded. But Sony, at the time, became aware of the rapid mod shipping of their systems and tried to implement mod chip detection routines into blockbuster games like Dino Crisis and Spyro Year of the Dragon. In response to this, people made stealth mod chips. These are mod chips that just disabled themselves after the game had boot, which rendered them undetected. And because of this, Sony learned their lesson and made the security in the PlayStation 2 much, much more complicated. But now you know how the PlayStation copy protection worked and how people were able to bypass it, which is knowledge you probably never needed to know, but at least it's kind of cool. That's all for our gaming segment, and back to our announcers.
Well, that's all, folks. Make sure you join us next time, as I will most likely be back to talking about dumb things in history no one actually cares about. I'm Jada Bob, and good night. I think you did good, Mr. Snugglebuns.